Hey, welcome back to Think Tank with Scott and Will. I'm Will,
I'm Scott.
and we're going to be talking about morality today. Now, had a lot of good responses from our last video, had a lot of great ideas come in.
Hmm.
I've put a couple of them aside because I don't know if he's listening, but Nathan Wright, a good friend of mine, he had a really good idea, but I want him to be here to speak about that idea with us. A couple of other guys, you sent me some good ideas, but this is one that came up, and I would really like to talk about this.
Well, it's part of us just riffing off what we know as well. I mean, the other topic's very, very generalized, or at least we need to narrow it down specifically if we're going to talk within a time frame. Because otherwise, we'll just talk for 3 hours about it,
Yeah.
and everyone else gets to fall asleep.
Yeah, well, look at the other video, man. We're talking about
Mm.
bloody gay Jews and stuff, cake and
Yeah, all very important topics.
Oh yeah, of course. But this is very. We all know, if you've ever read a piece of philosophy, no matter what book you read, this is always going to be in there. Morality. What is morality? Where does it come from? Why do we need it? And to be perfectly honest, I don't know how you think about it, but my outtake on that is no one really knows what morality is.
Well, I think there's a lot of assumptions when it comes to morality.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been a lot of different backgrounds based upon morality. In some cultures, morality is, your regular sort of Judeo-Christian one where it's, be nice to your neighbor, respect God, do all the rest.
like karma almost, like do the right thing.
Well,
and then the right thing will then in turn be returned to you.
Yeah, well, that's exactly it. Yeah. That return being personified by God, I suppose.
Well, yeah. Or, the energy that you output is returned to you. But again, we're starting to get into, energy transfers and things like that. We're talking about morality. So I'm going to quickly get myself back on topic because I can already see myself going off.
Well, I almost joined you there.
Yes. Now, look, so we're just going to talk about a couple of theories. A lot of different philosophers had a lot of different ideas. For example, Plato, I don't know if you're familiar with what his view of morality was. But,
refresh my memory.
Well, essentially, morality is the language of the soul. You do it because it's good for your soul.
Okay.
And so, the moral man doesn't get what's always coming to him. He doesn't rob the bank. He doesn't get the money straight away. He doesn't cheat on his girlfriend because he wants instantaneous pleasure or whatever the hell it is. But what the moral man does get is that sense of, I've done the moral thing, and that's all I need. Because it gives a sense of completement towards the soul of a person. And that was what Plato thought. And for the most part, I think it's a good thought experiment. But I think Plato was wrong.
Well,
there.
I suppose what I'm paraphrasing you here, but I figure what you're saying is getting at is, morality is fulfillment unto itself. You do the moral thing.
Yeah, that's a little bit more of
you do the moral thing. That's
because that's what you do. Yeah. I mean, I like to think that like my personal belief. Mark Rowland's one of my favorite philosophers. You got me onto him. Actually.
He's a good guy.
He's great, and he talks about morality in his book, Philosopher and the Wolf. Great book, amazing. I teared up in it. I lost my man card.
Everyone loses their man card. It's an excellent book.
Oh, it's absolutely. I highly recommend you guys read it. I'll post a link in the video, etc., etc. But I'll get back on track. He talks about morality as well. He also talks about values and how things that are valuable don't have instrumental value, which means if something has instrumental value, like money is instrumental value. I don't value money for what it is. I value money because having money can get me other things that I want.
That's it.
Money is instrumentally valuable to me.
It's a tool.
It's a tool towards getting that Ferrari. And that Ferrari is instrumentally valuable to me because it boosts my ego or whatever. It's not very often that you find something in life that's inherently valuable for what's inside.
It's valuable for its own sake.
And Mark Rowland's, what he says is morality is valuable because it doesn't need justification. You don't. It doesn't get you anything. It doesn't make you feel good. It doesn't make you better. It doesn't do anything like that. It's just valuable because it is an end to itself.
Okay.
I don't. Well, what do you think about that sort of
Ooh, I suppose the originator of morality. I mean, that's a pretty heavy question. I have to
Yeah.
admit.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I suppose if you want to just take it back, you want to pick like an evolutionary history sort of angle for it. I mean, it comes rise
You
is it's
mean,
basically in our
yeah.
nature to group, be as a group. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the simian.
Yeah,
Well, as we were talking about last week,
hmm,
if you tuned in, have a quick read of the monkey circle or that monkey sphere, all that sort of stuff. We're not
hmm,
going to go back into it today,
hmm.
but Thomas Hobbes,
Hobbes.
Hobbes had a good idea.
Hmm.
Do you want to give an introduction to it
Sure.
and
Well,
we'll expand on it?
Thomas Hobbes had the social contract theory, which is basically like, okay, pre-civilization, pre-groups, everyone was. It was his
Blood and
point was
tooth was the word he used, I
it was
believe.
a war of each against all.
Because
I
yeah,
can't
yeah,
remember the Latin phrase of it, but it's quite good.
yeah, I
Basically, it was
remember.
pre-civilization. We're all red in tooth and claw,
That's it. Yeah,
and the only way to do things is that everyone sat down or came together and go, okay, I need you not stab me in the back, and in turn, you don't stab me in the back. Oh, sorry,
yeah,
I
yeah.
won't stab
I
you in
won't
the
stab
back.
you if you don't stab me, and then we can benefit from each other.
That's it.
However, well, you see that in modern society today.
Yeah.
Like you ever meet a guy, you just want to beat the living fuck out of him.
Hmm.
But the only reason you don't beat the living fuck out of him is because the cops will take you to prison.
That's it.
You don't do bad shit because bad shit's going to happen to you. You subconsciously socially contract with people. You don't even know you're doing it.
Well, what you do is you say, okay, ultimately you have the option to do just about anything in any
Oh,
situation,
all the time.
but you choose not to because, okay, I choose not to exert my power to hit this guy because he's a big jerk, because in turn, the other forces involved will take away my power by throwing me in jail.
Yeah. Or I won't rape this woman because raping this woman will end me up in a prison cell, and then
Yeah,
I'll get raped.
well,
Well.
that was a pretty crude example, but
Yeah, but essentially it's like you don't do whatever you want to do because you don't want bad shit to happen to you.
yeah, basically the social contract theory, and I'm not really that invested in it.
Oh, I
Mark
am a little
Rowlands
bit.
does a great rebuttal of it.
Yes,
But
it does.
but what it's saying is basically I choose to give up my power in return to hamstring your power to affect me. I won't mess you up. In return, you won't mess me up.
Yeah.
We've got to get along here. We've each got to not do some things, so in turn we can all get along. I need to not be killed when I walk down the street. Therefore, I'm going to pay taxes to get police, which will put me in jail if I do those very same things.
So as long as I don't do those very same things, and I continue putting in the force and elements that other people don't do it to me, I'm sweet.
Yeah.
But there is a loophole.
Exactly.
There is a loophole. I'm not sure if this was already outlined or if it was actually Mark Rylance himself who actually rebutted this.
The only bit I ever read on it in a rebuttal sense was from Mark Rowlands. So that's
Alright.
what I'm going to base mine on.
Well, obviously you've got the whole situation of if you're blood, tooth, and claw, how do you sit down and work this out?
Yeah, that's it.
But the other one is like I socially contract with you, Scott, because I don't want you to kill me.
Yeah.
And it's beneficial to me.
Mm.
But what about all those people who socially contracting with them is not beneficial to me?
That's exactly. All of it is an exchange of benefit.
Exactly.
I choose to not do things to you. You choose not to do things to me. Now, that's the thing is that means you only contract people that have power.
Exactly.
Now, people that are powerless, say for example, minors, children
and animals.
Children,
that's
animals,
it.
exactly. And say the infirm, perhaps mentally, for example, who don't have
that's
the ability.
That's a good point.
Either legally or physically to basically harm you.
Yeah, like the mentally. I'm trying to find the politically correct word here. Incapacitated.
I'm just saying more to the fact where, okay, let's say you were a strong man, but you had a stroke.
Oh yeah. Okay, and now you've
got dementia, and now you can't really do much. Now people affect you no longer can say, okay, I'm going to get up in your face and punch you because you're a jerk to me. I'm going to take you to court because you don't have the faculties anymore.
Yeah.
So you're now in that category of people that are outside the bounds of social contract.
Because you lost power, and people don't want to contract with people who don't have power because it's not beneficial for them. It doesn't make them safe.
That's it. It's basically a morality It's morality designed upon benefit. It's, pardon me, I want to protect myself, so I'm only going to deal with other people that have the power to hurt me.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, if I deal with them, they won't hurt me.
Yeah.
But if this person isn't a threat to me, well, fuck
That's it. Well, that's exactly it.
If anything, you're a threat to them.
By that morality, if you know that person has no power to hurt you, then you can do what you want to them because they're not part of. You're not contracting with them.
You're not contracting.
It's, let's say you go with your neighbor. Okay, excellent. Okay, we're going to live together. I'm going to help you fix our mutual fence. I'm not going to poach your food in return. You're not going to come down and burn my house down. I want to get along. But let's say there's some deer in the forest. Well, you don't have a deal with the deer, so you can take as many deers as you want.
Yeah, because you're not contracted with them.
Let's say some marauding lunatic comes out. We just blow him away.
Yeah, shotgun him straight down the driveway.
You don't have a contract. But actually, no, that is a contract.
Because
he's going to hurt you.
It goes back to the whole blood, tooth, and claw thing. This guy is acting in a way that's blood, tooth, and claw.
Yeah.
And so you can break the contract that you didn't already have with him and just gun him down. Because he's a threat to you. And there's no benefit from contracting with this particular threat, so you destroy the threat. You remove it from your life. And, this was Thomas Hobbes' view of morality. And for the most part, I think it's a good step in examining what morality really is. Because when you get those things with no power...
that's where social contract falls apart. I mean, it's very much a psychopathic view of morality, because it's, okay, I choose to be moral because it benefits me. And only
But that's not morality, man. Not in my mind,
at
the very least. My mind
it's one concept of morality.
I reckon vegans and vegetarians and pescatarians are the most moral people in the universe, man. Because, hear me out.
I've got a bit of a rebuttal for that, but
fair enough. But hear me out. So, animals and babies and mentally disabled and physically disabled, these people have a lack of power, as examined through Thomas Hobbes' social contract.
Yeah.
So there's no reason for you to contract with these things. Like you see a dog, you can hit the dog or whatever, you can kick the dog, you can do whatever. The dog's not going to take it to court.
The thing is, the only way people that are outside the bounds of this social contract, i.e. other people that are strong or have a power to harm you, is really that people also get ringed in with that. Let's say there's a strong person that you're not going to do anything with, and he's got a kid. Now, you can't, like you would, but you can't, have a problem with the kid, because then the kid's dad is going to beat you up. They got sort of ringed in.
So this is where, like, the animal rights enthusiasts and shit come in, huh?
I wouldn't say so. I mean, that's more them reacting with their own passion rather than anything else. I mean, I think each animal or human or what have you really has the right to as pain-free existence as possible.
Yeah. And we're killing an animal to eat. Like, an animal just lost its fucking life, man. And a lot of people will say, the only reason that the animal was alive was to die and be eaten anyway. Well, how would you like it if I'll quickly wrap this up because I'm already off topic. How would you like it if aliens came down and then you specifically you were the product of meat breeding, and you knew that you were just going to be strung up and have the meat ripped from your body just because these people needed specifically human meat?
Or they just wanted.
Or they just there it is. How does that? Where do you? Assuming that you agree with what you said about the cows, animals, and all that sort of shit, you would then have to just bend over backwards, let these guys string you up, because that aligns with the way that you view meat bags. No one's going to admit to that shit because it's different when you're dealing with yourself.
Well, the other real difference is we ascribe moral traits and moral rights to us that don't get therefore given to animals. For example, it's some random person. We're not allowed to do that thing. It's wrong to...
Monkey sphere stuff, yeah.
Yeah, it's wrong to hurt another person. It's wrong to do this. It's wrong to eat a person.
Well, in some... you see, that's the point that Mark Rylance made, man. Sorry to interrupt you, but I've got to get this off my chest.
Yeah, of course.
In this society, it's incredibly immoral to eat someone. That's fucked up, man. That's screwed. But there are tribes in Africa where a family member will die, and the consuming of the flesh is considered the most comforting, moral good. Like,
Yeah.
powerful.
Was it an African tribe or was it some Phoenician, Sumerian?
I'm pretty sure it was
sort of thing?
African.
Was it African?
Judging by what Roland's wrote about, it was African.
I recall that Roland's had mentioned some ancient culture.
They're still they're still around today.
Oh, is there?
No, absolutely, they're still
This
are.
example I haven't read. So.
No, they're still around today. I read up on it. Can't quote it off the top of my head, but they are around.
Okay.
And if you don't eat the flesh of your dead relative, it's in very, 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 very bad.
Well,
it's very taboo.
Yeah, that's it. The most moral thing for them is, okay, this person has died, and therefore the most moral thing, because I think they believed that you basically... The soul is, in the body, and you allow the soul to be inside you if you consume a portion of them. Basically, they live on through you, they live on through their friends and family. So if you choose not to eat someone, you're just saying, I want them to be...
I don't want to have anything more to do with them.
of any possible... existence.
So you turn your back on them.
They're a total pariah.
Yeah.
Which I suppose leads well into our second point of topic, I suppose, where we're discussing, the concept of morality. Okay, it's different for each thing.
Yeah,
it's very much a cultural
it's not
concept.
like God's law. Because if you died, I wouldn't eat you.
Well,
don't worry. And I don't know if the gesture is returned.
Oh, I mean, I doubt you're particularly tasty meal, but let's be frank.
No need to be rude. but no, I wouldn't eat you because that's wrong. But over there, they would eat you.
Over there, it'd be wrong not to.
It'd be wrong not to.
By their cultural standards.
So, morality, therefore, cannot be something given to you from an external place. Because if it's coming from an external place, you have two directly conflicting views of what is right.
That's it.
So morality then must come from somewhere inside the individual, which means, well, I tend to believe that morality is ingrained inside the individual. It's an upbringing of what you believe is the righteous way to live. The way that you can get, well, this is something that you said to me, and I'm going to save that for the end, so I'm not going to say it quite yet because I want to build up to it.
Sure.
But you get your beliefs, and morality is just what you believe is good. Morality is just what you believe is the right thing to do because of the beliefs that you have in an upbringing in your society. Morality isn't just a universal thing everybody knows.
Well, a lot of it's taught. A lot of it's cultural.
Well, yeah, like
there's a lot of differing moralities. I mean, even today.
Well, you see, like I find, like you have your set of beliefs. I'm not going to outline them because they're very personal to you.
Oh, that'll take a long time. A lot of different.
Well, yeah, but there's a couple that are sticking out in my mind, and you do that because you think that's right. Whereas other people, it's just little things, like you hate lying. You never lie. I find you're a very honest person because I assume you believe that's the moral thing to do. But a lot of other people, they have no problem with skirting around the truth. Maybe it's because they don't want to hurt people. Or maybe it's because they think that's the best outcome. Not because they're dickheads or anything. They just believe that it's okay to lie here and there if it's going to save feelings or whatever, something like that. Whereas I know you can always be completely and brutally honest with me. That's why I come to you.
I honestly think the best way to do it with regards to truth is what best serves you.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to just flat out say, let's say, for example, some sort of partner or some sort of situation where it's like, Scott, do you think this is the right thing to do? If I don't think personally it's the right thing for you to do, I'll tell you as much.
Yeah.
But I'll support your decision as best I can.
And you have done that to me, and I appreciate that.
No, that's perfectly fine.
Now, so it's very clear now that morality changes for different people because of what you believe in your upbringing, in your social group, in your culture, in your religion, and yada, 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 yada.
Well, it very much molds your actual view of morality. I mean, there's a lot of differing, so it's okay to do this. Let's say we'll take Judaism, let's take Islam, not okay to eat pork. Pork's a dirty animal, you can't eat it.
Disgusting. No. And if you trick someone into eating it, it's bad, wrong, evil. But look at Christianity, eat pork, I don't give a shit.
That's it.
It's just another animal.
Yeah, it's just another animal.
Look at Buddhism and the Om. all that sort of stuff. And how harmonizing with the vibrations of the planet and all that sort of stuff. What you do creates energies and vibrations and stuff. Morality changes constantly with the different vibrations that you and the planet create, you know? So all these different religions and belief systems that we're instantaneously brought up into. Some people don't even have a choice. I was brought up Christian, and then I became an atheist, and then I became an agnostic, and then I became a spiritual, you know? And when I say spiritual, I mean I have my own personal belief that comforts me. My thing that I believe. Sorry. So I was instantaneously brought up into a Catholic set of morality belief systems.
Well, you had moral outlines, moral guidelines, cultural guidelines of morality already here, set and completed before you were even born. It's here, Will. Here's what's moral. Here's what's not moral, and we're going to follow that up with rewards and punishments. As well. Yeah. Whether that's evidenced by your parents disapproving, school life,
religion, God,
the law,
ranks,
for example, all sorts of things. You've got lots of, morality has its own guardians. You know what I mean? That's the thing. Morals is a structure, but the question you've got to ask yourself really is, who sets the moral guidelines in culture? And
everybody does, I think.
Yeah, but
I mean, like everybody, the way that you act. I think Thomas Hobbes, like we can all agree that maybe he was probably wrong, but it's a good idea because, it's like Mark Rowland said, you can't go from a blood and tooth society into a social contracting society because no one would be able to sit down in a room and talk about this sort of stuff without killing each other.
That's it. Yeah,
because they're going to kill each other anyway.
That's it. The only way you would go to some sort of meeting to talk morality was if you intended to betray them at that meeting.
Oh, absolutely. Because remember, social contracting didn't exist yet. Because that's what they were going to talk about. However, I always, while I recognize that, I always tended to believe that this was more of a subconscious thing that was never actually spoken about because it's always forever changing, slightly evolving, and it's almost like a non-verbal communication where I'm not going to do that to you, and you're not going to do that to me. And then it just sort of evolves from there.
What's considered moral and what's not considered moral very much changes with the times. Well, yeah, I mean, exactly. 50, 60 years ago, if you were homosexual, it was massively immoral, at least
like that,
in the most cultural-wise.
Look at the guy who wrote Dorian Gray. There was a lot of homosexual...
Oscar Wilde.
That's it, yeah. He was freaking prosecuted out the ass for that
He was put in jail for 2 years because of that book, because it apparently had underlying homosexual themes. And he was a homosexual.
It did.
And that's
if you ever read the book,
fun.
If you ever read the book Dorian Gray,
it does have
pretty
it does have a few underlying themes in it, but which is not fun. It's a good book.
I don't think he was gay.
No, I believe he was homosexual, yeah.
Oh, he was?
Yeah.
Oh,
he got put in jail for a couple of years for that book, primarily, I believe.
Damn.
Yeah, because it was just like, we don't like the way you're writing about that because it's wrong, and therefore...
And screw you.
Yeah, but, I mean, take now. I mean, there's a lot of the main sort of cultural, viewpoints is there's absolutely nothing wrong with being homosexual, which was differing wildly over like 50, 60 years ago. It was, you're going to go to hell, it's wrong, who would do that, you're not a man, all sort of thing, which is not the case now.
Yeah, because of God's law, man and woman and the anatomical, the thingy goes into the thingy and...
Yeah, all that good stuff. But, I mean, that goes to show, I mean, even over 50 years, morality has changed.
Oh, yeah,
and
absolutely.
if you've got all these different cultures, you've got all these different places, what actually is, is there a fundamental morality? Is there a thing below all that goes, this is actually what morality is?
All right. Well, I tend... No. I mean, look at the whole cannibal thing. If that was the case, it'd have to be like a source of something in which everything changes.
Well, you couldn't universally apply it. You know what I mean? There's no universal application of morality. I mean, I think...
Okay. I think I'm ready to get to the point that I was going to make earlier.
Okay.
And this was something you said to me. And this is the best fucking way... I'm going to give you complete and total credit for this.
And I'm sure I'll give everyone else complete and total credit because I read it somewhere or
No, I don't think you have, because I've read a lot about morality and stuff like that. And I've done a lot of thinking. This is the best fucking way to put it, man. Now, I like to use something that I made up called the desert island scenario.
Okay.
And virtually, you're on a plane or a boat, whatever you prefer, and then it crashes, and it's you and a couple other survivors.
Okay.
There's like a chick, and let's just say that there's three women.
Okay.
And you're the only dude, and you're big and you're strong. You're Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
You can insert force physically if you need to.
Yeah.
What's stopping you from doing whatever you want to?
There's nothing.
There's nothing stopping, because you're outside of
allaying and killing you.
Well, yeah, but you're big, man. You're big, and let's just say that they've got broken legs, and they've lost their fingers. I'm really going.
And they chain smoke, so
they chain smoke so that they can't run very far. And there's a couple of them are asthmatic. You're outside.
Okay, so hypothetically, you're the big guy, and there's nothing.
You're God.
Yeah, there's nothing force-wise to stop you. Okay.
Okay. So you're outside of society. You're outside of social contracting. You're outside of all these things that we've spoken about. There's only one other thing that will keep you in line morally.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what you said. What helps you get to sleep at night?
Yeah.
That's it. You don't know what the moral thing is. I think it's time to sit down and ask yourself, well, what would I be okay with? And why? And then, you sit there and you think about what you're going to do, and you're like, well, can I sleep with myself at night doing this? I mean, that's a really big way of putting it, like, oh, man, if I tell my mum that, I was the one driving that car when I went through that speed light, will I be able to get to sleep at night? Probably, yeah. But what you're supposed to be asking yourself is does this colour suit me?
Yeah. What's going to haunt you at the end of the day?
Yeah. What colour suits you best? Is that the sort of person that you want to be? I think that's the best way. Like this morality thing, we don't really actually know where morality comes from or what it really is. All we know is it's a set of beliefs that can help guide you, and if you have a good set of them, you can be a really, really well guided person. But how do you know when it's there, or what if that morality should be questioned or something like that?
Well, I mean, I think as far as how moral a person is, using the commonly accepted option of morality. I mean, I could get all Nietzschean here and just break it all down, but that's going to take a while.
It'll take hours.
But yeah, really, I suppose a good litmus test, a good Well,
take Breaking Bad for example.
No.
I'm going to apologize straight out. I'm going to spoil just a little bit of it. But if you've watched it, you got Jesse Pinkman and you got Walter White, and Walter White's got himself into a bad situation, and he needs somebody killed. And the only person available to do it is Jesse. Now Jesse's a very emotional person. He's a very good person. He's not quite like the.
He's not a ruthless person.
He's not ruthless. He's a good kid. So he kills him. But you see, at the time, Jesse believes that this is what I need to do. This is the right thing because it's going to save more lives. It's going to lose. Very utilitarian. This is what needs to be done. He convinces himself he's okay with it. He does it, and then he goes into a complete emotional spiral downwards. And yeah, you can convince yourself, yeah, this is what I need to do. This is the right thing. But in hindsight, well, he literally could not sleep with himself. Get to sleep at night.
Yeah.
So, sometimes the whole, yeah, this is totally what I want, isn't really what your soul wants. I like to think the soul is a very different entity to the person that you specifically are. The soul is a part of the source. It's in touch with nature and all that sort of stuff, So, what's okay with you, is it going to be okay with it? Sometimes it's not quite that simple. Sometimes you really got to sit down and go, this might be small and stupid, but is this what I want to do? And then you think about it.
Okay.
And I think empathy and morality go hand in hand.
Well, I suppose the more you're aware of your surroundings, the more you're aware of how your actions reverberate in the world, the more moral you have to be, and the harder it is to be moral.
Oh yeah, sometimes.
I mean, if you're
Sorry, no, sorry, I'm sorry. I do this all the time. I'm very interrupted.
No, man, I do it all the time too. But the more you're aware of your surroundings, the more in touch with yourself you are, the more in touch you are with the world, the more you notice how things affect everyone. So the less you can safely do. If everything's black and white, if this person's okay or this person's dead, okay, very black and white, you can do most things. You can be very rude, you can do all this sort of things. They're okay, they're okay. But the more you're aware of how your actions react to people, even if you do a good act and it reacts to people, let's say, you're like, okay, I really want to do this. I sort of really don't want to do this thing that I need to, Scott. What do you think? I could go, honestly, Will, you don't need to. It's not a problem. Excellent. Okay, and I've helped him. I've made him feel better. But now Will hasn't done what he needs to do. What he needs to do in his heart. So what I've got to do is I've got to do something that appears to be wrong. I've got to go, okay, Will, you've got to do something that's really going to hurt. That's really going to be hard. That really doesn't feel good now. But you need to do it so later on you can sleep with yourself at night.
Yeah, actually, I'm a big follower of Elliot Hulse. For those of you who don't know me, I'm studying personal training and all that sort of stuff, so I'm very physical as well. He recently posted something that said, a man can be judged by the amount of uncomfortable conversations he chooses to have. I think that says a lot about a person.
Well, I mean, a lot of development. I mean, we're getting a bit off morality here, but
I think we're done. Let's go with it. I like where this is going.
Okay, a lot of your actual close personal questions, where you question your own beliefs, where you question where you're coming from, where you actually talk about the uncomfortable truths of who you are as a person, and everyone's got that dark, uncomfortable side of themselves that often gets scorned. I mean, you can go Jung, where he's got the shadow and all the stuff. And his actual writings on that takes a lot from Nietzsche. So read some Jung, read some Nietzsche.
He's a fucking genius.
Talking about there's the shadow, the dark, uncomfortable facets of your own nature that commonly get overlooked. Like, okay, I think I'm a nice, reasonable, moral person, but now things get dark. Things get there's a lot on the line here, and you find yourself a lot more morally flexible than you thought you could be. Yes. You found what you're actually willing to do when push comes to shove is a lot less pleasant than you thought you were able to do.
Yeah, I've been in that situation before, and sometimes being a dick is really easy. It's really what you want to do, but you don't do it.
I mean, that's when you've got to call on your own moral fiber that says, okay, I've been in these situations before. I've experienced struggle. I've experienced hardship. And I'm aware of myself as a person and where my energy's at now and where I would like to be. And what suits me is really the primary when you're going to do that. Okay, I could be a jerk and react to this, but I won't, because what suits me is to be a calm, collected person who doesn't want to spread more hurt in the world. Now, some people can be very immature, come from their own emotional problems, their own feelings of inadequacy, and really try to hurt you, whether that's for their actions or the way they treat you. But you've got to go to yourself and go, okay, I'm going to be the bigger person, and I'm going to give out good energy as opposed to bad.
Yes. See, that is exactly what happened to me very recently. I had something happen to me, guys, and it was... I went through a lot of emotional shit. And then a piece of information was given to me, to which I became very angry, and I felt the weight of injustice on the world had weighed me down and stuff. I became, the personal desire to reach out and cause pain and allow my anger to flourish a little bit was very intense.
To be vengeful.
Well, yeah, I didn't believe it was malice. I believed, at the very least, I had convinced myself. I don't know if it was true or not, but I convinced myself that it was out of justice and vengeance. Setting the things right. You did this to me, I'll do it to you. I didn't, because, well, I don't know, and that's what morality is. You do it because you just do. There's no reason behind it, bro. I don't know why I didn't do it, and it would have caused a whole lot of, man, I finally did it, and all that sort of stuff. But at the same time, not doing it was just as good. And that shit's character building.
Yeah, it is.
It is, but that's not why I did it. Well, what I should be saying is that's not why I chose not to do it. You know? I didn't do it because it was. Well, I didn't choose not to do it because it was character building. There was just no reason behind it. It just that was what was right. Maybe nature and my soul was getting in touch with me and just go, just do this. But it was the best decision that I'd made. Because I grew as a person, and I became much stronger and wiser, all that sort of crap. But there is one more point that I want to say before we close this up.
Sure.
But in doing so, morality is a really good thing because it helps you, it guides you, man.
I honestly believe morality is a good guideline.
Well, yeah, when you don't know what to do, you've got something to fall back on. But I always wanted to be the good person. And in doing that sort of thing, making those sort of decisions, I believe I lost the way a little bit.
Well, sometimes being the good person involves you being very much a harsh, unpleasant person.
No, I was the very opposite.
Yeah.
Elliot Hulse talked about tender aggression, mixing tenderness and love and kindness with hard, strong, stand-up, power, aggression, and mixing those two together to create tender aggression. I was way too tender. I was very forgiving, too forgiving. I was very nice. I was very accepting. I was putting energy out and not energy coming in. And then recently, like when I say recently, I mean last couple of hours, something bad happened to me and I went out, I was so angry. I was fucking sick of it. And then a real good friend of mine sent me a message and we were talking for a little bit. And I realized there is a fine line between being a good person and being a bitchy little doormat.
Yeah.
Because you can always bend over backwards and you can forgive people. You can do the right thing and you can let the people walk over you.
Well, that's it. Doing the right thing doesn't mean you're passive.
Yeah.
I mean,
I became passive.
You don't want to do that. I mean, often doing the right thing is okay. I choose to not engage in behavior that I think is negative to myself or others, so I'm not going to. It's a stillness. You almost feel sort of like a Buddhist fighting monk or something like that. If I choose to walk around, I'm still. I'm not going to have conflict. You've just run into me. I'm sorry, sir. Please don't do that. I hope you have a good day. And then they throw a punch at you. So the guy totally wrecks him.
Yeah, tender aggression. Yeah, there's this tenderness. Oh, sorry, sir. Didn't mean to run into you. Things escalate. Okay, well, there's no reason. Doing the aggression in tender aggression doesn't make you a bad person. It makes you standing up for yourself. It's strong. It's a good quality that you shouldn't neglect. So sometimes standing up and saying, "Hey, F you, buddy," that's not you losing your temper or being off your head. Sometimes that's the aggression that you need in tender aggression. You need to stand up for yourself to become a strong, self-reliant person.
Well, I mean, I might be drawing a bit from Nietzsche here, but I mean, it's all about sublimation. You go, okay, I've got this energy here, I've got this passion, so I'm going to direct it into avenues that best serve me, that best further my own development. And I mean, really, it comes down to, okay, I choose not to engage in this behavior. I choose to save my energy for challenges that are worthy of me. Whether that might be another person, it might be something conflict related. I mean, it doesn't have to be something pure and nice and good.
Yeah, but you don't lose your head because someone spilled milk. You lose your head because someone killed your dog.
Yeah,
that's the thing. You save that crazy raw energy for shit that actually is deserving of it. Not the little shit.
I mean, your challenges might not even be other people. Someone could kill your dog and you could be totally forgiving of that person. I mean,
but personally, if you went off your head, I would not
totally
call you an immoral person.
Yeah, no one's going to kill my dog.
No, someone killed your dog, I would go off my head.
Yeah, that's it. But I mean, you could choose to use that energy. I mean, your challenges might not even be external. I mean, people could be jerks to you, and it just wouldn't matter. Okay, these guys are being rude to me, but these guys, these hypothetical guys have their own problems and their own concern, and they're acting from a position of fear and discomfort in their own state of being. So I choose to be not affected by that because their opinions are not mattering. My opinion of myself is what matters. My choose the ability to do things is what matters. My challenges would be internal. Okay, I have these set of beliefs that I don't believe are worthy of me. I'm not being honest with myself. Those are the challenges that you choose to take on. But we're getting a bit outside of morality here. Let's wrap it up with why be moral. I mean, we've skirted around the issue.
We've spoken a little bit about it. Let's spend the next couple of minutes talking about it, and we'll wrap it up.
Sure.
Why be moral? Why be moral? Well, it's like I said before, man. I don't think if you can answer that question, I think you've got the wrong answer.
Yeah.
Like I was saying,
your assumptions may be a bit wrong at the beginning.
Yeah, I think if you're able to say why be moral in this situation and then hand out an answer, I think you've missed what morality really is. I think sometimes you have to get yourself into a shit situation.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, well, I could do this, or I could do this. I could do path A, which is where, well, F this, I'm going to go on a killing spree. Or you can be option B, where it's, I'm just going to walk away and forgive. And then you say, well, why would I do option A? Well, it would feel really good because they did bad shit to me. Okay, so it's justice. Well, why would you do option B? I don't know. There's no reason to. I mean...
Well, really, it's what hurts you more. What helps you live. I mean, there's always the option of there is no reason, and morality is just a construct.
What helps you sleep at night?
That's the second one. But let's say the first one, that there is no reason to be, no statistical, here you go, this works for all situations, reason to be moral. The only reason to be moral is to show other people that you're not going to betray them and that they don't damage you. So the social contract theory, it's the whole sociopathic version of morality where it's, okay, I don't want to be attacked, so I'm going to be moral.
I mean, sometimes I used to think of it like, I want to do the good thing because I want people to look at me and go, man, Roy Will, my name is Will, but everyone calls me Roy. Roy's a good person. He is so fucking... I want people to look up to me like a Buddha or something. And I think I had it all wrong, and that slowly turned into a whole, you just do it because that's the person you want to be.
Well, often what being moral is not affected by your ego. It's what you believe is the best outcome for you.
Yeah.
And the best outcome
for
others.
Even then, if your ego does
come
into
how
it...
empathetic you are.
Yeah. But even then, if your ego does come into it, your ego is saying, well, this is what's going to look good. Maybe your ego is helpful sometimes. I've always been against the ego, but maybe it's a bit helpful.
Well, your ego is just another tool, like anything else.
Yeah, use it as a tool, don't let it use you, though. Like, watch Revolver, it's a good movie. But, why be moral?
Okay, so we got the sociopathic, contractual...
And you've got the, it's like Mark Rylance says in his book, I believe it was Philosopher at the End of the Universe, where he's talking about morality using the Invisible Man as a sort of thing. The Ring of Heresy.
That's...
we don't have time to talk about it, so look it up. The Ring of Heresy or something like that. It's a good idea of morality.
Yeah, that one was basically, for those that haven't read the thing, it's done by Hollow Man, is a redoing of it, basically, with the Kevin Bacon film, where it's basically, okay, if you're invisible and no one knows what you've done, why be moral?
Yeah, you could have sex with the Queen and shit.
And that's what he did in the story. Apparently, it's a really funky story.
Yeah, in the original, he raped the Queen, and he murdered his wife or something.
I think he murdered the king and became the...
Yeah, that's right. He became the ruler.
It was some shepherd dude. But basically what it's saying is, okay, why be moral? Oh, because people will hurt me. But if you're invisible and no one knows it's you, then why be moral?
Because you can get away. You're outside of the social contract.
That's it. People can't hurt you. They don't know it was you.
Yeah.
They don't know you were...
But yeah, look it up. Ring of Heresy or whatever. You'll find it. Just go Ring, Shepherd, Invisible Man. I'll look around for it and post a link if I can. But yeah, why be moral, man? It's like he said at the end of that book. Why be moral? There's no reason to be moral.
There's no one size fits all reason to be moral.
Exactly, pretty much. You do it for your own reasons, not because we told you to, guys.
Yeah. I mean, it's not as cut and dry as that, guys. I mean, there's always the whole, why be moral? Okay, because people will hurt me. But then that just means you can do what you want anyway, as long as you're good enough at doing it so you appear to be moral.
Yeah, if you can manipulate the Ring of Invisibility,
Yeah, think about it. I mean,
Yeah.
think about a lot of the societal things.
Desert island sort of thing, remember?
You can do a lot of what you want that's wrong as long as you have a good enough lawyer to get you off it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an abuse of the social contract we see every day, and it's everywhere. I don't even need to give you an example. You can look at politics, you can look at religion, you can look at anything.
Turn on the news tonight, you'll see it.
You'll see it.
You know. All right. I think I'm gonna have to cut you off.
Okay.
Because we've really gone over time. I have a feeling we're going to keep doing that sort of thing too, going over time.
Yeah.
But for the most part, look, if is there anything else that you really needed to say on the subject?
I'm happy to leave it at that. I mean,
if we need to come back to it, we can always do another video.
Yeah, I think we're just going to go around in circles on why be moral when there's no real easy one size fits all question.
You have to figure that one out yourselves, guys. Seriously, this is not something we can tell you because
there's no real answer to this one. This one's a thorny question that has yet to be answered.
Yeah, pretty much.
And if it's been answered, they've used a wrong assumption. But really, guys, the best way to do it, I think, is to whatever you can do that helps you sleep at night. I mean, act like the kind of person that you can have a good night's sleep being. You know, you go to sleep at the end of the night, you go, you know what? I was a worthy person of myself today, and just keep following your dreams. You know, come from a good place, emotionally, and things will fall into place as best they can. Struggles will happen, but you're a good person. End of the day, no matter what you've done it the right way and a worthy way of yourself, and you're going to keep on keeping on. And you're going to get that struggle, and that struggle is just going to be another tool that you can use to be the best version of yourself.
Beautifully said.
No, I think that's...
Beautifully said, man. That's beautiful. And I like what you said there about becoming a stronger version of yourself. You guys watch Elliot Hulse. You'll see him quote that a lot. It's serious shit, you know. But
I would like to come back to this version later on. We'll get a bit more of the Nietzsche, Friedrich Nietzsche angle of it, because I mean, there's a lot of breaking down of what morality is based upon.
We'll do another video,
but we'll leave it for this episode. I think we wanted to give a general riffing on the topic, so we'll talk specifics later, guys. Yeah. But yep, I think we should probably leave it there, Will.
We'll start wrapping up. So, look, guys, I had a lot of good feedback on the previous video. Keep it up. If you'd like to see anything more, see anything less, I had a bunch of requests come through. I even had one come through where you and I actually just sit down and talk about our background of philosophy, where we just talk about where we came from, where we learned, what we know, or how we come up with what we talk about. You know?
Sure.
So yeah, we might do that.
But seriously, guys, just drop us a line. Yeah. Send us a message. I mean, if you've got us personally on Facebook, send us a message there. Send a message, leave a comment on the channel. You're more than welcome to. I mean, this is just our material. You know, the more you put in, the more questions we can answer.
Exactly. You know, we're going to talk about things either way. If you've got something you want to know about, or maybe you want to improve something, this is the place to do it. You know, we can all grow together.
Absolutely, that's all it is, guys.
Well, look, we're going to sign off now because we've almost hit 50 minutes instead of 30.
As you do.
So, it's been a pleasure. I'm Will.
I'm Scott.
And you've been listening into Think Tank Morality. And we'll see you guys either in the next couple of days or next week.
That's the one, guys. Keep tuned. We've got plenty more to talk about. Take care.
See you guys.